red lights, breaking down the tide. Every wrong, every right. Got the insight, fire, and the Bama pride. When the Crimson's on the line, we alone for the ride. Bama voices on the call, we gon' break it all down. Roll it up. From the rumble in the trenches to the kings of the crown. Roll it up. Yeah, the tide runs deep and the show runs strong. Jack, Jeff, Trev, keep it rolling all season long. Every snap, every play, every headline drop. If it's Bama on the field, you know we never stop. Fast take, big stakes, tide talk all day. Alabama by CFB, we don't play. Christian spirit in the air, let the good times flow. Times flow. Roll it up. Only one place to be when you love.
Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 52nd edition of Alabama Primetime Live from yours truly, Jackson Johnson and Trevion Ware, as we'll be going over our takes on the projected lineup for the defense heading into 2026 and some March Madness previews of Alabama Hofstra. Well, a little bit of fall preview and much more. Let me tell you something, you're going to be in for a good time for a long time, as we've got several more weeks until kickoff. We've got a few more weeks until the spring game starts. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Doing good on this Thursday. Was able to get me some March Madness in earlier in the day. A lot of craziness going on in the college basketball world. So we'll definitely be touching on the Alabama Crimson Tide men's team tomorrow as they go into the first round of their March Madness, and also ready to talk some Alabama football, as Alabama is currently on spring break, but is set to return next Tuesday. And also with the NFL with the Alabama Pro Day, that is the Alabama Pro Day happening next Wednesday. So we got a jam-packed show today. A lot of topics to discuss. I'm ready to get to it.
For sure, man, for sure. And before we, just kind of like get ready for the show, we'd like to let you know that this episode of Alabama with the Voice of College Football is presented by FanDuel, where you can get top-notch predictions in the world of college basketball, especially a March Madness, of course, as we've got a tight one between VCU and North Carolina right now. But that's the first half, of course, and we've got Howard, Michigan later on, Texas A&M, St. Mary's, and, just kind of like a here we go. The Friday game, Santa Clara, Kentucky. If I were a bet man, I would say Santa Clara gets one over Kentucky.
I can't. Man. I mean, Santa Clara is a good team, of course, but Kentucky, that's still BBN. That's still Kentucky, man. I'd have to look at that really closely. But obviously, it's a lot of good games on the slate, other than Alabama and Hofstra. Like you said, North Carolina and VCU going through a tight one right now. But it's March Madness. Anything can happen, because we just saw the Duke Blue Devils and Senior play really closely. And, matchups make fights in these type of environments, especially when you get into March. So it's no telling what could happen. So that's why you got to tap in at FanDuel and deal with and check out all the available lines that they have on the games, because they have everything you need on the betting market, from a spread to particular player points, over, under, anything you're looking for in the betting market. FanDuel will definitely get you squared away and ready to play.
And one odd FanDuel's going to have to do is add in whether Jerry McNamara is going to leave Siena for his alma mater, Syracuse. But we will definitely wait and see whether that happens or not, or if he's just like, I'll wait another time. But, can't go better than keeping it close with the Duke Blue Devils, that's for sure. But, we've got a defensive lineup to look at for 2026. And we've got some graphics, of course. We've got them all right here. So we'll go ahead and show off the cornerbacks, the projected lineup for the cornerbacks and safeties. So seen here, we suspect that Dijon Lee is obviously going to be CB1. And Carmelo O'Neal and Zay Gibson are sitting behind him, of course. Xavier Brown is CB2. Jordan Edmonds and Nick Sherman are sitting behind him. Then we got the Husky star nickel position. with Red Morgan at the Husky position. Chuck McDonald, Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. are behind him. The free safety is Bray Hubbard. And behind him are Zay Mincy and Raquel Kelly. Keon Sabb is the strong safety, and Ivan Taylor and Jarrah Edwards are sitting behind him at strong safety. Travion, what do you think about this lineup for cornerbacks and safety?
I mean, it's pretty much how I expected it out to be when I looked at the Crimson Tide coming into this spring. Obviously, the secondary is the strong point of this team, especially on the defensive side of the ball. They have the most continuity coming back. Obviously, Dejon Lee has a handful of starts in his freshman year, but looking at the depth behind him, Carmelo O'Neal has been practicing some at cornerback in practice. He's been the cornerback behind Dejon Lee. Zay Gibson, the true freshman who has a lot of talent. Zabian Brown is going into his third year as the cornerback, is the starter for Alabama. Seems just like yesterday he was picking off that pass against Georgia for his first interception. So a lot of continuity there with Zabian Brown. He's kind of the leader at that cornerback position. And looking at Jordan Edmonds, the talented true freshman, along with Nick Sherman, both talented freshmen who come in, can provide a lot of depth and length. So the cornerback position is pretty much set. I definitely love what they're doing at the cornerback position. But then when you go down to the Husky position, you look at Red Morgan, the emergence of Red Morgan. He started to come on pretty late last season, and he showed what he could do when he got his extended snaps. Now he's coming into a role in 2026 where he's the man, and he's definitely showcase why he could be the man, why he should be the man. So I definitely love what he brings to the table at Husky, just his physicality, his football IQ, and just the savviness that he plays with. And there was some movement at that Husky position. Chuck McDonald came in originally as a cornerback when he first signed with the Crimson Tide in 2025. They're experimenting with him, playing him at Husky. He has a lot of length and size, so I could definitely see him fitting in there. It's just about him being more physical, but he can definitely do that. Drake Kirkpatrick Jr., that is. Drake Kirkpatrick is his father. But Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. is definitely someone who could fit into that Husky role well and give Red Morgan a breather if needed. Drake Kirkpatrick Jr. brings a lot of physicality. He plays with his hair on fire. He loves contact. He is one of those players that's the first to the ball. He gives up his body. He's a relentless tackler. So you definitely love what he could bring to the Alabama secondary at that Husky position. And then when you look at the safeties, of course, Bray Hubbard is on his third year starting, him and Keon Sabb. Those are basically the anchors in that secondary, the two players that do a lot of the communicating that you can definitely count on. Both of them, both relentless tacklers, both good in coverage, both very savvy and IQ football-wise, have good play recognition. So those are your bookends at safety. I definitely love those two. Zay Mincy going into his third year in the program. Zay Mincy is somebody that can definitely continue to help from a depth standpoint. He also came in as a cornerback as well. Zay Mincy can definitely play some safety. He has that versatility to his game. Raquel Kelly is a young kid also that can do a lot of things for them on special teams, outside of safety. So that might be his pathway to getting on the field. And you look at Ivan Taylor, son of Ike Taylor, who played for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's one of those lengthy kids that provides just provides a different skill set if needed at that safety position. And obviously everybody is talking about Jared Edwards. Jared Edwards is the 5-star safety who's come in and who's fit right in just at his size, being 6'2", 221 pounds. So that is a crowded safety room, but Jared Edwards is one of those talented players that Kane Warmack is going to have to scheme on how to get him onto the field because he's just that talented. You can't sit that type of talent on the sidelines too long. So Jared Edwards can definitely make some noise at that safety position as he backs up Keon Sabb and comes in and gives him a breather. But the cornerback and the safety and the Husky position for Alabama, that's pretty much set. In my opinion, I don't think there will be a lot of movement there from what we have here on that projected lineup. I definitely think that they have one of the best secondaries in the country, just like I said, with the continuity and the experience, youth, length, everything that you'll look for in the secondary. Alabama definitely has that. So definitely excited to see what they do back there as they just lock stuff down. But obviously, moving to the front seven. The front seven is what a lot of people want to talk about. That front seven is no secret. Yonze Pierre is going to be the starting Wolf. Yonze Pierre came on pretty much last year and had a breakout season, had over 40 tackles, had 8 sacks. Justin Hill's an emerging player that Kane Warmack likes a lot. You can definitely see why. Just at his size, being over 6'2", over 250 pounds, somebody that is relentless, somebody that you can definitely put him on different schemes and send him on different blitzes, and he could definitely get to the quarterback and get home. Jamarian Matthews, the true freshman that came from Gainesville, Georgia. He is one of those players that definitely fits the mold of what Kane Warmack is trying to do at that Wolf position. He can definitely learn a few things from Justin Hill and Yonze Pierre. So you definitely like what you see with James Matthew. He's already been taking some snaps in practice at that Wolf position, and his development is going to be key. So I definitely think that overall he'll definitely be able to find a home at Wolf. Looking at that bandit position, you look at USC transfer.
Devon Tompkins from
Devin.
USC.
Yeah, Devin. Yeah, Devon Tompkins. He's a player that Kane Warmack has already said can be a force to be reckoned with. He said that earlier this spring. I definitely could see why. Him being 6'5", over 270 pounds almost, he definitely brings a lot of pressure up front. He's definitely physical at the point of attack. So you're definitely going to need a big year out of him. But I definitely think that he could do so. Looking at the depth at that position, you look at Desmond Umazulu, somebody who Alabama fans are learning about, somebody who Kane Warmack and his defensive staff with Freddie Roach, they definitely like what they see out of Desmond Umazulu. He definitely can fit at that bandit role. He can play some Wolf as well. He provides a lot of flexibility on this Alabama defense that they are craving, that they like a lot, and that they've been talking about a lot this spring. So you definitely like that there. You look at the 7th-year returning senior, Jamarian Lathan. Last year, he had a neck injury, and it cut his senior season short. So he's back for his 7th year. He definitely can play some Wolf. He definitely can play some bandit. He provides a lot of flexibility at that position as well. Plus, like I said, 7 years of experience in college football. So you're definitely going to need that on the front end of your defense. And then you go to the defensive tackles. You look at Oregon transfers, Terrence Green. Terrence Green is going to be taking the place of Tim Keenan. Terrence Green is a player that can plug the middle of your defense and create a lot of pressure on the opposing offensive line to collapse things inside on that pocket for the quarterback. He can definitely get home if needed. So I definitely like what they have there at the defensive tackle starting position. And then you look at the depth behind him: Edric Hill, Fatu Henry, and London Simmons. Those are players who can definitely get to the quarterback, clog lanes, create havoc up front for the opposing offenses, and help players like Yonze Pierre, Justin Hill, and Devin Tompkins get home, because you need your defensive line to clog up things in the middle to free up those edges. So Terrence Green and London Simmons, Edric Hill, Fatu Henry, those are players that you definitely like. Plus, those are players that can stop the run. That's something that Alabama has been struggling with over the past couple of years, and getting those players up front with just the intensity and the size that they bring and versatility that they bring, that can definitely help them in their pursuit to stop the run and live in the backfield the way that Kane Warmack wants to. And he can definitely disguise different packages around those type of players. So you definitely like that. Then you look at the depth at that position as well. You look at Kendrick Bingley-Jones. Kendrick Bingley-Jones, Mississippi State transfer. He's one of those players that can also get to the quarterback, that can also clog lanes, that can also create havoc and just buy your defensive end a couple more seconds, so he's able to get home too. So you definitely like that there up front. on the Crimson Tide's defensive line. And could you put back up the lineup real quick? Yeah, it was a couple other guys I wanted to touch on as well. You look at Steve Bola. His last name is very hard for me to say, so forgive me if I botch it. Steve, my boy
Moa.
Steve Bolly Moya. Yeah, Steve Bolly Moya. See, I'm gonna have it right. I'm gonna have it right when the season comes, when he back there sacking those quarterbacks, when he's back there clogging up those lanes, because that's definitely something that he could do. He's definitely one of those players who plays with a relentless passion. He's one of those players that can help you from a depth standpoint. He's a versatile player. He can play inside. He can play outside. So it won't be a mistake by me when the season comes, when I hear those announcers continue to announce his name. So I'll be able to learn that pretty quickly. And then you look at the third defensive tackle spot. You look at a player like Isaiah Fagua. Isaiah Fagua he's been in the program a couple years. He's now developing into one of those players that can count on at that defensive tackle spot. He can play inside. He can play outside as well. You just look at the versatility of this Alabama defense. Kane Warmack and Coach Freddie Roach they're definitely going to have their choosings of what type of packages they want to run, because this defensive line gives them the ability not to just be stuck in those type of rigid fronts. They can get kind of exotic and mix things up and create different packages based off the different skill sets that they have. And then you look at the depth of that position. You look at Jeremiah Beeman, who was in line to start last year, in line to play a lot of football last year. He started for Tim Keenan in the Florida State game last year, but he had a lower body injury in week 2 of the season in practice, which sidelined him for the entire season. So Jeremiah Beeman, I definitely want to see the emergence coming out of him. He definitely is a player that Kane Warmack is going to be scheming to get on the field and take some of the pressure off of some of those starters. Jeremiah Beeman is definitely somebody that a lot of fans want to watch out for. And then you look at Chris Smith, the Washington transfer. He brings a lot of size too at 6'5", over 260 pounds. He can bend that edge. He can get inside and do some of the dirty work on that interior of the defensive line and put pressure on the quarterback as well. So you definitely like what you see out of Chris Smith. He definitely can be a player that can be a contributor on a weekly basis. It just depends on how Kane Warmack and Freddie Roach want to call things. But overall, this entire defensive line, this gives them the luxury and flexibility that they want and that they've been craving for, to mix things up and be able to get in the backfield at the quarterback to the running backs at different angles. So you definitely like what you see out of this early lineup of defenders that Alabama can throw at you, because like I said, there's a lot of versatility and a multitude back there that they can use and they can lean on at different parts of the season. So that definitely gets me excited to see.
I'll tell you who I want to see at some point during the season, which I know we'll see his name in October, but I especially want to see this guy on September 26th against South Carolina, Desmond Umazulu. I want to see him go against his old team. Like, that's going to be really fun. And
he's a player that will definitely get a lot of the action. I mean, he's one of the seniors on this team. Alabama, like I said, it's a pretty young team, but Desmond Lazulu, just with his SEC experience and with his size, his versatility to be able to play that wolf and that bandit position, he can definitely affect the game in multiple ways. So I could definitely see Kane Warmack continuing to call his number. He's definitely going to be a player that will pop up on the film repeatedly. So you won't have to wait too long, Jackson, about that. We'll definitely be seeing a lot of Desmond Umazulu in backfields for Alabama in 2026. I can guarantee that now. But obviously, that's the front. A lot of people want to know about the Crimson Tide linebackers, considering that they lost 3 linebackers last year. Those 3 linebackers being Deontay Lawson, losing Justin Jefferson, losing Nakai Greenhill. So they're going to be starting from scratch at that position, but they have a good stepping stone that they can start with Virginia Tech transfer Caleb Woodson. Caleb Woodson is a senior. He's been a captain on Virginia Tech. coming over from the ACC. He's a player that kind of brings some subtlety at that linebacker position because there's a lot of youth there as well. You look at the depth behind him. You look at Luke Mertz and Abdul Sanders, two young players that's been in the program now for over a year that are still finding their games, but they are very good developmental pieces that Kane Warmack will be comfortable with throwing in the game this year and seeing what they can do. They also can help on special teams, so you definitely love that. So Caleb Woodson at that linebacker 1 spot is going to be pretty good. You look at just like I said, the youth on this linebacker position. You look at linebacker 2, QB Reese, the red shirt freshman, who doesn't have a lot of game experience, but he has a lot of talent. And Alabama's going to have to turn to that type of talent this year. So QB Reese is definitely – he's been taking some reps with the ones in spring, so I could definitely see him lining up at that inside linebacker 2 spot for Alabama. And, of course, you got the number 1 linebacker in the country, 2026 recruit from Gainesville High School as well, same high school as Jamarian Matthews. You got Xavier Griffin. Xavier Griffin brings a lot of intrigue to this linebacker position as well. A lot of people have been comparing him to players like a Jahad Campbell, like a Micah Parsons. He has that type of skill to his game, but it's just about how quickly he can develop. I mean, he's already started to develop his body at least. He came on campus around 196 pounds in the spring as an early enrollee. He's already up to 225 pounds. So you definitely like what you see there from the weight gain and stuff like that. But he's a player that Kane Warmack can also get creative with and find spots in the game where you can send him as a potential set of fresh legs as a rusher in the quarterback. He also has some coverage skills to play at the second level at that linebacker position. He's a very instinctual young football player who brings a lot to the table, skill set wise. So you definitely love what you see there from Xavier Griffin. So Xavier Griffin will be hearing his number called. So I could definitely see him fitting in well at that linebacker position, that linebacker 2 position behind QB Reese or behind Caleb Woodson, wherever you want to put him at. He'll definitely be productive whenever he gets in the game. You look at a player like Zay Hall, too. The same things can be said for Zay Hall, too. Zay Hall brings a lot of different skill traits to the Crimson Tide defense that Kane Warmack can also utilize in year 1. So I definitely like Zay Hall at that linebacker 2 position, him and Xavier Griffin providing the Crimson Tide different elements of their skill sets when needed. And like I said, both can be a fresh set of legs, fresh set of rushers whenever you want to put them in the game. So those two will definitely be playing a lot of football this year. And then you look at Caden Jones. Caden Jones is also a player who is young in his development, but who has a lot of things you like in your linebacker. I mean, he's one of probably the most experienced out of QB Reese and Luke Mertz and Luke Metz and Abdul Sanders, but Caden Jones is definitely somebody that they'll be having to call upon at that linebacker 3 spot for sure. And you look at Daryl Johnson. Daryl Johnson, he's a good player too. He's a player that saw most of his work in year 1 on special teams, being a sound tackler and stuff like that. But this year he'll definitely have his chance to see the field too. So I started inside linebackers for, like I said, it's still spring, it's still early, but right now what the practice film is showing me at that position is going to be Caleb Woodson, QB Reese, and Caden Jones. But the backup complementary of talent that they have back there, those players can definitely find their way on the field and be contributors as well.
Well, and you mentioned Caleb Woodson was a team captain for Virginia Tech last season. I mean, he was like one of the few bright spots for, what was considered an underwhelming Virginia Tech team. Like, he was really getting things rolling for the Hokies.
Yeah, he was one of the steady pieces on their defense, somebody that they could count on week in and week out. And Alabama is definitely going to need that type of production from him in 2026 as he goes into his senior year. He's a similar player to Nakai Hill Green, who came over from Colorado last year and was pretty much a 1-year rental for the Crimson Tide, but he was very productive in that 1 year. So I could definitely see Caleb Woodson doing the same as he puts his bid in for the 2027 NFL draft, the same way Nakai Greenhill is doing in the 2026 NFL draft. He'll definitely be a gem that a team can find in those later rounds, and hoping that Caleb Woodson, he has a little more upside to his game, so he could be one of those players that benefits off of that 1 year in Tuscaloosa and finds his way to the NFL. So he could definitely be a player that settles the room and is the veteran at that position. And they're definitely going to need that because, like I said, this is a young football team. We went over the offensive starters on Monday, and we're going over the defensive starters today. The defense has a lot of more cohesion, a lot of more steadiness on that side of the ball. But overall, the team is still young, but there's a lot of talent on every position on this roster. That's really an early microcosm of what the season could be, just looking at that depth chart there. But overall, it's a lot to love. It's a lot to like about how Alabama is forming their 2026 football team. So we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out. I mean, like I said, they're going to be back at practice on Tuesday, the second week of spring ball. The reps will start to increase. The competition will start to increase. We'll start seeing more players pull away and emerge for those type of starting bids, for those type of starting roles, for those just carving out roles in general. Just because you don't start don't mean Alabama won't use you. So it's definitely going to be a lot to see. And then we got an A-Day coming up in April. So, there's going to be a lot to showcase. So pretty much on A-Day, we'll be seeing that entire lineup get their chances and see how they can do. But it's a lot to be excited about the spring with the Crimson Tide for sure.
Oh, agreed. No doubt about it. But there is more stuff to be excited about with the Crimson Tide all right here on Alabama The Voice of College Football, as you can always check us out on Alabama Crimson Tide Live on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, and iHeartRadio. Some of you are not always able to watch us on YouTube or on X or even on Facebook on the Voice of College Football Facebook account. But you know what? That's okay. Because some of you are going to the grocery store. You're going to the gym. You're picking up your kid from daycare. Or just picking up your kid from grandma and grandpa, take them home, or picking them up from school. That's why you tune in and listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeartRadio, especially while you are running your errands all right here for more top-notch coverage on the Crimson Tide. And, of course, you can check us out on the Voice College Football X account, where you can get top-notch takes in the world of top-notch discussion, debate, analysis with no off-season. And you can check it out on the VOCFB on X. Give it a follow, and you'll get top-notch discussions in the world of college football, especially on whether the future is looking bright or is it looking bad? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it ugly? Is it perfect? That's why you comment on the Voice College Football X account. Tune in for more magic on the Voice College Football.
Oh, yeah, Jackson, before we start, my bad, I got to go to the restroom, my bad. I don't know why, just drinking all this water and stuff, water running through me, so...
don't feel bad. I got water too, man.
Yeah. So give me like a light second. Give me a light second, bro.
Oh, it's all good, man. It's like...
Right.
Man, and I'm just going to tell you, it's always a wild ride all right here on Alabama The Voice College Football. Now, usually we don't do a doubleheader, but we figured today would be perfect because it would be an exception, especially with, March Madness and all that. And, we've got time to kill. And, just honestly, it just feels like, today was a perfect day. And with tomorrow, Alabama's playing Hofstra. We figured, today we'd be going over the defensive lineup Thursday. And, the rest of today we'll be going over the pro day, the defensive identity blueprint, kickoff of Alabama Hofstra. But later on, for the college show with Jeffrey and myself, we'll be going over our final score predictions with all of you, especially as you guys call in to give your final score predictions on Alabama going against Hofstra. And can they make it to a Final Four? Can they make it to Elite Eight? Could they make it to a Natty? That's why you call in Thursday nights on 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, we've got a wild ride coming in next Wednesday with Pro Day. And we're going to be seeing a lot of action from Ty Simpson and Jam Miller and plenty of other guys. Let's show you one of the highlights of Ty Simpson, shall we? Oh, my bad. The clip muted us. My bad. Here we go. But yeah, like Ty Simpson threw that long ball. Like he's threw a long ball to his guy. Like what did you think about that?
Yes, sir. Just talking about Ty Simpson, the number 2 consensus quarterback in his 2026 NFL draft. He's pretty much solidified himself as the number 2 quarterback and as a potential first-round pick. Ty Simpson brings a lot of intrigue to the NFL at the NFL level. So next Wednesday at the Alabama Pro Day, he's pretty much, just putting in the final touches on his resume. He's already received a lot of first-round talk from former NFL coaches this offseason about it. Could it be the LA Rams? Could it be the Pittsburgh Steelers? Could it be a team like the Arizona Cardinals, for example? There's a lot of potential suitors for Ty Simpson in his 2026 NFL draft. So it'll just be refreshing to see him pretty much step into that Alabama practice facility for the last time, and do what he's got to do to hush any further doubt about him being an NFL quarterback. But I'm just excited just about this time for Alabama's young prospects. You look at another guy like a Jeremy Bernard. Jeremy Bernard has answered a lot of questions this offseason just about his speed, just about the type of receiver he could translate to at the NFL level. So you definitely love Jeremy Bernard, who boosted his stock as well at the NFL draft last month. You look at other players like Jam Miller. Jam Miller, he's kind of the forgotten man. A lot of people don't like to talk about Jam Miller just with how unproductive he was last year. But a lot of that's got to do with the Alabama Crimson Tide offensive line. I already covered Jeremy Bernard, just looking at his combine highlights as well. He was able to get that 4.48 under his belt at the NFL combine. So he definitely is a player that's boosted his stock. Jam Miller did the same thing as well, pulling out a 4.43 at the NFL combine. And then you look at other players like a Tim Keenan, like a LT Overton, like a Deontay Lawson. Every Alabama player pretty much helped themselves in Indianapolis last month. So now it's about, performing that last time in the Crimson Tide facility, and, just moving up those boards for the potential scouts that could be there, because every year Alabama's Pro Day is like a circus. Every team has a representative there from all 32 teams. So it's definitely going to be a lot of talent evaluators and stuff like that. So we're just wishing that all of them have a good Pro Day. The Pro Day is going to be next Wednesday starting at 9 o'clock. So there's still a lot to be decided with this NFL draft. I think we're about less than a month away. When is the NFL? I know it's next month. What day is that again?
It's usually on the last Thursday of April.
I think it starts on forgive me. Don't quote me on this, but I think it starts around the 28th, I would believe.
Well, it's actually the 23rd.
Yeah, 23rd. 23rd. So we're under so we're about maybe 33 days away from seeing another player like a Caden Proctor, like I said, Ty Simpson hearing their names called on night 1 of the NFL draft. Alabama also has some intriguing prospects like Parker Brailsford.
You got me excited thinking about old Parker. There we go.
Parker Brailsford showed off that athleticism in Indianapolis, having the 5th longest broad jump at his position of all offensive linemen in all time. He had the 5th longest jump of all time at his position. So you look at that, you look at what he was able to put on tape during his 2 seasons at Alabama, and you just look at the different type of players at the different type of positions that they have. It's a lot of players some players being underlooked. You look at a player like Caden Proctor. He can definitely hear his name called on night one. There's been a lot of discussion. Will he stay at tackle? Will he move inside to guard? A lot of NFL talent evaluators are expecting him to move inside to guard. That might be a positional move that could help the duration of his career. Just with the speed of those NFL edge rushers, he might be suited to play better in guard. So I can see him lining up at tackle, doing some tackle drills next week at the Alabama Pro Day, also showing off their versatility inside, playing guard and going through guard drills as well. But overall, Alabama definitely has a plethora of talent that will be performing at the Pro Day. So it'll definitely be an exciting thing to watch. I'm going to see if I can go up there. I'm not 100% sure. I have to check some things over, credential-wise and stuff like that. But it's a lot to see. It'll be a lot to talk about. Even if I can't go, I know there's going to be a lot of raving reviews just about the performances there. Obviously, Ty Simpson is the headliner. But there's going to be a lot to talk about at NFL Combine. So can't wait to see it. Can't wait to see all these Alabama athletes pretty much write their tickets to the NFL. And like I said earlier, there's been a lot of talk about Ty Simpson and where he should be drafted. Looking at former NFL quarterback Dan Orlovsky, he is one of the biggest Ty Simpson supporters. We definitely appreciate him.
Thank you, Orlovsky.
He would be in play at number 2 for the New York Jets. He's very much Brock Purdy for me.
Oh, don't say the Jets. Don't say the Jets, Orlovsky.
Everything else away. All you see is big-time throw that is an NFL-style throw down the field, a 20-yard in, a 20-yard crossing route, a big post, a deep corner route, under pressure. Like the things that we watch and demand of NFL quarterbacks, pinpoint ball placement in the red zone. He's surgical in rhythm and timing. And that's why I say Brock Purdy. And then there's the sprinkle of playmaking where Brock Purdy has. It's just incredibly challenging and difficult throws. And the thing that I get stuck on is in the middle of November, everybody to a T that is a draft analyst or projector had Ty Simpson as like a top 5 to top 7 pick. And then the play did drop off, not nearly as much as everyone makes it out, because of he got beat up. And their offensive line fell apart, and he was carrying that team, and they couldn't run the football, and then he's not worthy of a first-round pick anymore? That one doesn't make sense to me.
There you go. I mean, it's like, as I always say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because, I mean, it was like November was bad and all, but it's like Orlovsky said. That wasn't all on Simpson. That was not all on him. That was the offensive line not looking so good.
Yeah, and then a lot of people have to realize Ty Simpson did shoulder one of the heaviest loads at the quarterback position, just with the inability of the offensive line being able to continue to put a consistent starting 5 out in front of them. No other offensive line rotated more than Alabama did last year, and Ty Simpson was still able to cook. So a lot of people have to take that into consideration. And then he played hurt a lot of the season, so and a lot of people don't know that he dealt with a lot of lower body injuries, some elbow brucitis, a lot of stuff like that. So Ty Simpson is, from what he puts on tape and the type of person that we've seen him be in Tuscaloosa, he definitely is worthy of a first-round pick. So next Wednesday, he'll be able to further solidify that. But Ty Simpson is definitely one of those interesting prospects that you got to watch, because he could be a quarterback that is taken earlier than expected. Like, it's a lot of NFL teams looking for suitors at quarterback. That's never going to stop. Quarterback is always the high commodity in the NFL. So it'll be interesting to see where he goes. But Daniel Orlovsky and Chase Daniels and other quarterbacks like that, former NFL quarterbacks, have been vouching for this kid. So, you kind of just want to see a player like Ty Simpson succeed. So just like you want to see all the Alabama athletes succeed. So hopefully that.
And it seems to me the Jets are making a play for Ty Simpson, because it's like after the news of Justin Fields getting traded to the Chiefs to be the backup quarterback for Patrick Mahomes. And, just looking at the QB lineup for the Jets, you got Brady Cook, Geno Smith, and Bailey Zapp. I don't think they're planning on any of those guys being starters for 2026. Maybe Geno Smith, but that's it. Maybe.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
gotta
Geno Smith, just with his experience and stuff like that. I mean, the Jets have been in a lot of quarterback purgatory and stuff like that. And earlier you were saying not the Jets, not the Jets. I mean, the goal at the end of the day is to get to the NFL. I mean, no anywhere but the Jets.
At full 95-15s right there with me.
Yeah, anybody but the Jets. But at the same time, man, you see these type of quarterbacks are able to be transcended. So if they are talented enough, they'll be able to do so. Yes, that team is still coached by Aaron Glenn, and but at the same time, it really just depends on where he goes. I mean, I don't see the Jets particularly being the spot for him. I would like him to land in a place like the Arizona Cardinals, who has a little bit more structure. I mean, yes, Todd Simpson, I definitely think that I mean, I don't know if he could start week 1 in the NFL. That's why I said the Arizona Cardinals, and the New York Jets wouldn't be a bad spot either, because he could learn behind Geno Smith. If he went to the Arizona Cardinals, he could learn behind a quarterback like Jacoby Brissett. And, they have a lot of weapons out in Arizona. They have Marvin Harrison Jr. They have Trent McBride. They have Michael Wilson. They have they have Connor in the backfield. They have a lot of weapons, and they have a plausible defense. And the New York Jets, they got the same thing a little bit on their defense as well. In their offensive backfield, they have Breece Hall. They have some players like that. So it wouldn't all be on him. But, of course, we've seen in the NFL, it's all about the situation you go to. You look at a quarterback like Sam Darnold. He had to bounce around from situation to situation to situation to finally be able to find a coaching staff that can put his game together. So it really depends on where Todd Simpson lands. But, I mean, the goal for me, if I hear his name called first round next month in April, I'll just be happy off of that.
Oh.
I won't focus too much on the particular destination, because Todd Simpson, I definitely think he's a player that has that work, that has that mindset of wherever he's drafted, he's gonna make it work. Just with his having a head coach as his father, and in UT Martin's coach, Jason Simpson, and just the mindset that he was able to build at the University of Alabama, going through those hard times and stuff like that. I definitely think Todd Simpson is a warrior, so it really doesn't matter.
Agree.
I mean, it matters where he goes. Don't get me wrong about that. It definitely matters where he goes. But at the same time, if he lands anywhere and he has a head coach that believes in him, he can make it work. I definitely believe that about Todd Simpson. So next Wednesday, it's already been pretty much solidified that he's the number 2 quarterback in his draft. So next Wednesday, looking for a good performance from Todd Simpson and others, and other Alabama players who continue to want to boost their draft stocks. But next Wednesday is going to be exciting for sure when we see those players.
You mentioned the Cardinals as a possibility for Simpson, and I think you might get your wish on that, because it was like weeks ago that they told Kyler Murray, okay, you got to go. You got to go. It's not worked out. So,
I mean, that was pretty much expected. When Kyler Murray went down with that injury in the season, and which wasn't a season-ending injury, and they decided to sit him for the remainder of those games, I pretty much knew Kyler Murray was out the door. That era had run its course, and Arizona has to know that Jacoby Brissett is not the franchise quarterback. He's a quarterback that he's serviceable. He's somebody that is like a bridge quarterback. I mean, he can get you to start the season and stuff like that. But if Todd Simpson were to go there, it wouldn't surprise me if he was able to get a start by the middle of the season and stuff like that. There are also possibilities like the LA Rams drafting Todd Simpson. That's kind of me and Jackson's favorite destination for Todd Simpson, just considering that they have Matthew Stafford, who's pretty much year to year. But they also have the great mind of Sean McVay and the talent that they have there, like a Puka Nacua, like a Devontae Adams, like a Kyron Williams, like a Blake Corson, like a Terrence Ferguson. Just what they have on that offensive side of the ball. And it would be no pressure for Todd Simpson to start at all, because Matthew Stafford, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he just won league MVP. He's won a Super Bowl. I mean, so there's no pressure. And then he would have the time to pick the brain of a quarterback like a Matthew Stafford, and that would just be like getting a PhD in football during his first year in the NFL, because Matthew Stafford is one of the brightest quarterbacks in the NFL. He's one of the most wittiest quarterbacks in the NFL. So he definitely could play behind a player like a Matthew Stafford. And then you look at other places like the Pittsburgh Steelers with Mike McCarthy. They're still trying to see what they want to do at the quarterback position just because of Aaron Rodgers. And we all know about Aaron Rodgers. He kind of does things on his own time. He makes decisions when he wants to make them. So if the Pittsburgh Steelers don't feel like waiting on that decision, he could definitely go to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has some other quarterbacks on that roster. They have a Mason Rudolph. They have a Will Howard. They have other quarterbacks like that he could learn from and compete with. And that's really all it's about, because Ty Simpson, he's one of the awesome.
Well, yeah, because like Aaron Rodgers is likely returning for 2026, because like that whole thing of hiring Mike McCarthy, that was to get Aaron Rodgers back for 2026. But we know like after 2026, he's gone doing whatever he's doing. Like we like he says he's gonna stay away from the spotlight, but I guess we'll see. He might sit and chill for a year. I don't know if he's gonna call games, but point being, that is a possibility for Ty Simpson. But there's another
being able to sit behind Aaron Rodgers too. That's not a bad thing at all. I mean,
that's
Aaron
true.
Rodgers is a Hall of Famer, so if he was able to sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a season and get some seasoning, like I said, that's like sitting behind Matthew Stafford. You're getting a football PhD in year one, so it wouldn't be a bad thing. Like I said, Ty Simpson has a lot of NFL suitors. Some of those suitors went off to the market. When you look at, I wanted to see the potential of him going to the Minnesota Vikings, but that dream is pretty much dead because they have Kyler Murray in Minnesota. They have JJ McCarthy still, and they just signed Carson Wentz today. So, it's a lot. That's pretty much dead there. But Jackson, I know you had another point you wanted to get to. So,
but yeah, like the Dolphins, that's another possibility. But I would.
They just got Malik Willis though, man. But the Dolphins, man, they are in a.
I don't think they're getting Malik Willis as like a long-term guy.
I mean, they signed him to some big money. I mean, but at the same time, the Dolphins are on a complete rebuild. I mean, they just shipped out Jalen Waddle. They just they just cut ties with Tyreek Hill. They really need some receiver help more than anything to support the signing of Malik Willis and stuff like that. But the Dolphins, they can still be an intriguing pick. The Dolphins hold their number 11 pick in the NFL draft. I mean, that's kind of too early to be drafting a player like Ty Simpson, considering you just signed Malik Willis. So I don't really see that as a possibility. But, hey, who knows? I mean, Ty Simpson could be on the board later in that first round as well. But wherever Ty Simpson goes, I got full faith that he'll be successful just with his work ethic, his mindset, and how he approaches the game. I definitely enjoyed the one season that Ty Simpson was the starting quarterback for the Colts.
Oh, it was fun.
Just seeing how he, like I said, approached the game, how charismatic he was, the charisma that he played with. So we'll definitely be excited. And like I said, there's other Alabama prospects in this NFL draft that are being overlooked. Jeremy Bernard, I definitely think he solidified himself as a potential day 2 pick early in that second round.
The Chiefs are going to snatch him somehow. Like they're going to be snatching a Bama prospect, I think.
Could be the Chiefs, could be the 49ers, could be a team like the Atlanta Falcons. Who knows, man? It's a lot. It's a lot of suitors for Jeremy Bernard. I mean, his service will definitely be utilized, and his phone will be ringing for sure.
Everybody's gonna want him.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's we will definitely wait and see what happens. I'm glad that the Raiders are just kind of having their eyes only on Fernando Mendoza.
And they ain't got no choice.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of have
Heisman right in front of you. You got to take him. Heisman winner is right in front of you. You have to take him.
Yeah, I mean, you got to. The guy that led Indiana to a natty. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got to take him.
Take him.
Then you
Get
got
him over.
then you got the Tom Brady influence on that in there on top of that. And plus, Fernando Mendoza, for what it's worth, he definitely proved a lot of people wrong. He proved me wrong this season, so I'll go on record in saying that for Fernando Mendoza, he the real deal. So the Raiders shouldn't overthink that at all. At number one.
Oh yeah. But one thing's for sure, it's going to come down to the Jets, the Rams, the Cardinals, possibly the Dolphins as well. They're all going to be vying for Ty Simpson, all right there in the 2026 NFL draft. But we will definitely be knowing more about that after next Wednesday on Pro Day. And of course, before we go further on tonight's show, we've got the merch store. Got a little shopping to do for Easter. Trevion, is there anything you want to get for Easter?
That's a good question, man. You can start out with the merch store. The merch store, they have the dad hats. They got the regular trucker hat. They got the cotton T-shirts. They have the sweatshirts. They have the polo tees, the cups, the mugs, the cooler cans. Anything that you would be looking for that's stylish, that you want to help support our show at the Voice of College Football, the Alabama channel, we'll definitely have that for you. We have different colors. Don't worry. It's not just for men. It's unisex. We have things for men, women, all children, girls, and boys. So we definitely appreciate anybody who taps in to see what type of products we got. But for me personally, I'm a sweatshirt guy. Today I don't got on the sweatshirt. I usually have on the sweatshirt. I just got on a t-shirt, but I'm a sweatshirt guy. So I'll be looking at that sweatshirt, honestly, just the different colors that it comes in.
Oh yeah.
all types of shades that we have that in. So for me personally, I'll be looking at the sweatshirt. But overall, like I said, the Alabama Voice College Football channel definitely has everything that you would like. So we definitely appreciate you guys. If you are watching, tap in on the website to see what we got. The links is in the chat. We got that link in the chat, right? Right.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
yes,
the link is in the chat to the website, so we definitely appreciate
Come on
you.
down.
Yeah, so come on down. We definitely appreciate you.
Like the price is right. Come on down.
Yep, we definitely appreciate you to see what we have in store for sure.
There we go. That's why you come on and get some merch, especially to prepare yourself for all 4 seasons. Alabama is basically one of the few states where you will feel like you've got all 4 seasons in one day. Like Monday, there was a snowstorm, and then it felt cloudy, and then it was warm. And then Saturday it's gonna be 82 degrees from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, me being a Texas bred, being Texas bred from Dallas, Texas, man, I learned that quick. But I mean, Texas is not too different, but Alabama on a different level. So you definitely want to tap in to see what we got at the Voice of College Football on the Alabama channel. We definitely got everything for 4 seasons, like Jackson said.
Oh, for sure. And we've got to figure out what the identity blueprint will be for the defense for 2026. Trevion, you've got some ideas on what the adaptable, aggressive, and explosive blueprint should be for the Crimson Tide. What is that exactly?
Yeah, most definitely. That's my latest piece on Bama Hammer. Just thinking about some things over spring break, based off some stuff that I saw early on throughout the first week of fall practice of spring ball for Alabama, and just looking at that defense. The defense is more complete than the offense. We just went over the defensive projected starting lineup. For one, they're coached by third-year defensive coordinator Kane Warmack. Kane Warmack has already gone on record and said that he wants to have a dominant defense. So I definitely think that the identity of the Alabama Crimson Tide 2006, it'll be a defensive-led group. Just looking at the versatility that they have on defense at all those different type of positions in the secondary, at the second level with the linebackers on the defensive front. Just looking at the youth from youth to experience, just everything that they have on the defensive side of the ball. This group allows Kane Warmack to switch a lot of things up, be pretty aggressive with his play calls, being able to adapt and pretty much dictate the terms that they want to play with when facing other teams. I definitely think that that's going to be a skill that Alabama will be able to utilize, and it will be a strength that they'll be able to flex during this season. Obviously, on the offensive side of the ball, there are still a lot of questions. Obviously, everybody knows the quarterback battle going on. You look at the two remaining starters that need to be named on that offensive line. So I definitely think that with the defense playing aggressive as
Oh, he knocked him down. Like,
Yeah,
watch again. Watch again. Here we go.
I mean, that's yeah.
Go. Boom.
Yeah, but that just
He
shows
was hungry.
yeah, but that just shows you the type of fire that this defense plays with even in practice. So and you're seeing Kane Warmack there um, just pretty much conduct that type of fire and just get his type of players to play with that. So you definitely love that. Obviously, looking on defense, you have Bray Hubbard, who I believe is going to be a captain for sure. Bray Hubbard will be a captain. Yanze Pierre will also be a captain. So I think a lot of the leadership will come from the defensive side of the ball. So defense will definitely be the calling card of this Alabama Crimson Tide team. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that right now. So I definitely think the defensive identity will be the identity of this football team. The backbone of this football team will be the Alabama defense. And I think that's a good thing because getting back to being a dominant defense, we've seen the dominant defenses in the past of Alabama and what that was able to do for their morale and how they were able to ride those to championships. Not saying that Alabama is a championship team. That's still yet to be seen. We still have to figure out who the quarterback is, but they definitely have a championship unit with the championship ceiling on that defensive side of the ball. So I'm definitely excited just to see this group continue to materialize. Like I said, they got young players like a Jair Edwards, like an Xavier Griffin, like a Jamarian Matthews, like a Jordan Edmonds. Those are just 4 young players I named, but then you go to the vets. Obviously, Bray Hubbard, Keon Sabb, Yanze Pierre, Caleb Woodson, players like that, just young and a mix of youth and experience at all 3 levels of the defense. So they'll be able to parlay that and pretty much be the backbone of this Alabama Crimson Tide football team. So I'm very confident about that take that I made today on Bama Hammer. And with that being the identity of the team, I think that that'll take a lot of the pressure off of the offense. It'll take a lot of the pressure off of the offense, and they'll be able to play a pretty much controlled style of football. I mean, yes, Alabama has a lot of explosive players on the offensive side of the ball, but knowing that you got that defense that has your back on the other side of the ball, they'll be able to be pretty much complimentary to the defense, not putting them in those type of bad spots, not feeling like they got to score 40 a game because this defense, obviously Kane Warmack last year, he especially the second half of the season, after getting some of those run issues fixed, he was able to pretty much field a sound defense. So now going into year 3 with the versatility that he has at those positions, I definitely think that this defense will be one of the top units in college football. Definitely will have one of the top secondaries in college football. And they play the right way. They embody the spirit of their defensive coordinator, Kane Warmack, looking at Coach Mo Linguish going through defensive back drills and seeing how Coach Freddie Roach coaches up that defensive line and looking at Chuck Morrell, linebackers coach and stuff like that. So I'm fairly confident that the defense will be the identity of the Alabama Crimson Tide 2026 for sure.
Oh man, they're looking pretty aggressive on this tape, honestly.
Yeah, man, that's how they practice. I mean, they're instilling that type of physicality early. I mean, I know that's just again in drills versus sled dummies and bean bags and stuff like that. But obviously, once they get out of spring break, they'll be putting on the pads full time and they'll be going to war. So I'm definitely expecting to see the defense continue to ramp up and continue to you know just be the leader overall. So I'm excited about that unit for sure. I'm excited about what Kane Wormay can do with all these moving parts and pieces, and just him going into his third year calling the defense. I think it's a perfect storm. So, like I said, I'm going on record saying that the Alabama Crimson Tide defense will be the backbone of the team in 2026.
For sure. I mean, like the D line's going to be great. The linebackers, the CBs, they're going to be fantastic. They're going to be aggressive.
Yeah,
I'm ready to see some more Yuma Zulu. I'm ready to see what Terrence Green will bring. I'm ready to see some more Yahtzee Pierre. I'm just waiting it out for those guys to bring in some more magic.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of more stability on that side of the football. So, those are players, all players that you name are players that can get home and take the pressure off of the Alabama offense, take some of the pressure off of Ryan Grubb so they don't have to aim to be perfect and stress. And they can pretty much let things play out on the offensive side of the ball. And whoever does come out as the winner of that quarterback position, he'll know that he has a defense on his on the other side that can back him up, and he won't have to play hero ball. So I'm definitely excited just about everything that's materializing on that defensive side of the ball for sure.
Agreed. And to end this show, we've got our last topic of the night. We've got a little preview of Alabama Hofstra. And we're just kind of waiting to see, like, the Holloway stuff. That ship has sailed. Alabama is preparing for Hofstra tomorrow to play. Before, you got Texas Tech, Akron. Then you got Alabama Hofstra, True TV. Alabama is an 11.5-point favorite, and shouldn't have to worry about anything. I think things should be all right. But what are you thinking about this game, Trevion?
I mean, I feel like they'll be all right for the most part. I mean, Aiden Holloway is a big piece of their offense, being the second leading scorer. But I definitely believe that Coach Nate Oates will have a more focused group, especially considering what happened with Holloway and considering how they ended their SEC bid, being upset by Ole Miss and having that time to let things simmer over and getting back to fundamentals and basics. I definitely think that the Crimson Tide will be a more focused group, and they won't play with their food tomorrow. They'll definitely be able to handle up and handle business and get that win in the first round of 64. If they do win that game, they see, I don't want to make any predictions, but obviously Texas Tech and Akron, the winner of that game, that'll be who they will be facing. I would like to say Texas Tech would win, but obviously we just saw some upsets today with Holy Cross. Who did Holy Cross beat? They beat who did they beat?
No, it was High Point actually.
Yeah, high point. They both purple, so I always see. I'm a football guy. But I like basketball. But they both purple, so I always get them confused. But High Point had an upset today, so which is another reason why I think the Crimson Tide will come in and be more focused tomorrow when they play Hofstra. Hofstra is coached by a former NBA player, Speedy Johnson. So he'll have that team up and ready to play. But I think that Coach Nate also will have them ready to play as well, and they'll be able to handle their business. But like I said, don't want to make any predictions, but Alabama will probably will more than likely win that game and be preparing for a team like a Texas Tech. So that might be where they need Aiden Holloway. But right now, tomorrow, I definitely think that they'll be able to handle business and get out of the round of 64. But we'll see what happens. I mean, they have some other players that can fill Holloway's void. Jaleel McVay comes to mind for me. The transfer from Miami. He's been he's had he's had his fair share of ups and downs this year just with injuries. He started out the year with a foot injury and he kind of got buried in the depth chart. He didn't play a lot in certain games, but anytime he's come on the court, he's been able to be a bright spot. He's been able to be an energy guy, one of those players that can come off the bench and get a bucket for you. So looking for players like him, looking for obviously LeBaron Philon, looking for LeBaron Philon.
Oh man, Philon's been a baller this season.
You need a good game from LeBaron Philon. You need a good game from Aiden Sherrill. You need a good game from who's the big? I feel I'm embarrassed now. I forgot. Big man in the middle. Big man in the middle for Alabama. Now let me think. You need. I'll come back to him later, but you need a good game from Houston Millette as well.
Latrell Wrightsell.
Latrell Wrightsell. I apologize. I don't know why. As many threes we just seen him knock down, as many dunks as we've seen him make this season. I don't know why I forgot his name, but you need a good game from Latrell Wrightsell. You need a good game from Houston Millette. You just need a good game from a supporting cast. You need all players on deck and ready to play. But I definitely think that Coach Nados will have those boys ready. He'll have his group ready, especially with the attention and the spotlight that Alabama has received over the last couple weeks, and it's been heightened this week by the Aiden Holloway situation. So I definitely think that they'll be ready to play for sure. So, yeah. So if you definitely want to check out that game, you definitely want to tap in with our partners at FanDuel. I definitely believe that I'm going to go out on the record now. I believe Alabama will be able to cover that 11.5 spread. If that's a little bit too dicey for you with the Aiden Holloway situation, I definitely could understand. That's why you can hop on FanDuel and you can play with that line a little. You can water it down to probably a 7.5 spread. I definitely think they'll win by more than 8 points at least. If they don't cover the 11.5, they'll at least win by 2 possessions or more. So, So you definitely want to tap in for all NCAA betting odds, but obviously the Crimson Tide betting odds. FanDuel definitely has everything that you want on the betting market. Like I said, player props. Defensive, offensive, over, under, spread, money line, anything you're looking for, FanDuel definitely has it. So we definitely would appreciate you guys. Even if you don't bet, you can look at the lines of the game and you can use that as a guideline to see, hey, is this game going to be close? Is it going to be a blowout? The lines pretty much help you see what's going to happen. I mean, not in all cases because it's March. We know anything that can happen. So, but definitely appreciate you guys. You just tap in with our partners at FanDuel for sure. They definitely get you scored.
Tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Post about the magic that you'll be seeing from FanDuel for college basketball predictions for March Madness, men's and women's, and some early predictions for Major League Baseball opening day as it starts next Wednesday on Netflix between the New York Yankees and the San Francisco Giants. Well, Trevion, what magic have you got cooking up this week, good buddy?
Man, I'm just sitting back watching some of this college basketball, man. It's March Madness. So, I mean, obviously, that's first on my agenda. But another thing on my agenda as well, obviously, the Crimson Tide are on spring break. Like I said, they'll be returning back to practice on Tuesday. And obviously, we've already talked about it, the Alabama Pro Day will be next week. So I'll be seeing my plans for that. And just from a writing standpoint, just looking at other areas of the team that I can attack offensively, defensively. I'm going to be doing some diving into special teams as well. Special teams, obviously, for the Alabama Crimson Tide were a roller coaster last year with just the week-to-week inconsistencies that they had in the special teams game. So that'll definitely be another area of the Alabama Crimson Tide football team that I'll be diving into. But overall, really just enjoying I mean, I'm not on spring break. I'm not spring break is really just for kids, literally college kids, high school, elementary and stuff like that. But obviously with the Crimson Tide not being there and my work pretty much being centered around the Crimson Tide, and them being away right now, that gives me a little bit more free time. So, I'm just going to be enjoying that little window that I have, but obviously always working. So if you definitely want to check out to see what I got going on, you can definitely check me out on X at TWorld1K. That is on X at TWorld1K. Got my stories all down my page. My most recent story about the identity of this Alabama Crimson Tide football team. It is my latest post. You can definitely check that out. You can definitely check out the link to my stories. The link is in the bio, so you can definitely check out to see what I got going on X. I definitely would appreciate that. Show any type of love. I definitely appreciate that. Drop a follow if you can. I'll appreciate that. If not, if you just want to check out some top-notch content, you just want to learn and check out top-notch content, I got that for you too. So I definitely appreciate that.
There you go. And let's get Trevion over to 3,000 followers on X/Twitter. Let's help him get there before the merry month of May, ladies and gentlemen. Tell your friends.
I don't know if it's gonna be May. I'm at 2.2. That'd be like 800 more followers. To be honest with you, if I could get to 2.3K, 2.5K, that'd be cool. But that's something I'm working towards as the season gets here, just to continue to grow my platform. But like I said, anybody that shows me love on the net, I'll definitely show it back. So I definitely appreciate you guys in advance.
Tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Publix about the magic that Trevion brings right here on Alabama, the Voice of College Football, and the magic that he brings on Bama Hammer at Fansided. But also check me out on Jackson Johnson 979, where I've got an episode coming up on the Jacksonian for the 100th episode. And I've also got some magic coming in. Well, we had some magic on SEC at the Voice of College Football last night, where Tucker, Andrew, and myself were joined by Matt's Bar, talking about the NCAA tournament preview from an SEC point of view. And for more updates, what we've got going on Alabama at the Voice of College Football, SEC at the Voice of College Football, or what I've got going on the Jacksonian, or Locked On West Virginia appearances once, twice a week with Mountaineer Paul. Check me out on Jacksonville CFB on @/Twitter and on Instagram and Threads, Jackson Johnson 543-908. But I will be back here later tonight, taking your calls with Jeffrey and myself, discussing the final score predictions of Alabama Hofstra. And it's going to be a wild ride to see what's going to happen for the rest of March Madness, because it's that time of year again.
It's March Madness, man.
I mean, Siena kept it close with Duke.
Yeah, that's why you can't count out any team. A lot of teams playing with pride and stuff. I saw Siena. They didn't sub out nobody. Like, they played their starters to the very end, like, no break at all. So, I mean, if the same thing were to happen to Crimson Tide tomorrow, just being pushed a little, that wouldn't surprise me. But like I said, I believe Coach Nate Oates, just with the heightened pressure of the situation that they have been going on this week and just coming off the loss that they came off with, I definitely think that they'll play with a mentality. So, I mean, but it's like I said, it's March Madness. Anything can happen. We might see it. We will see it in other games where we see some Cinderellas and stuff like that push the higher seeded team. So, ain't no telling.
There we go. And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe, click on the notification bell so you never miss no video whatsoever. And we will see y'all soon. And roll Tide.
Good night,